We're doing a new series here at Fargone where we're gonna be building out what we think is the ultimate John boat for everything from stillwater fishing to our productions. Be sure to follow along and subscribe if you wanna watch the whole boat build, but enough talking, let's get into her. If you're gonna build a good boat, you gotta start off with a good boat. Before you chuck in anything like fish finders, all that crap, gotta have a good platform. So this is a Marlon SP14. We just picked it up last week. This is the new model. So the biggest difference between this year and last year is it has this integrated gunnel, which is freaking awesome and gonna be such a game changer. We ran an SP14 last year, and I don't think there's anything more stable on the water. Like, the width of this thing is just incredible, and everyone that we brought into this boat was like, how do I get our hands on one of these? So we're really excited to be using the SP14 as kind of our base platform, and now we're just excited to build it out. Having spent a full year in one of these boats already, I feel like I have a pretty good idea on what I want to do to it, but I think throughout this series, there's gonna be a crazy amount of trial and error. So we're gonna probably try things and be like, yeah, that sounds sick, great idea. Then next thing you know, it'd be like, that actually sucked once we got on the water. Or like, oh, you know what, we mounted the fish finder in the wrong spot or whatever. So those are all things that we're gonna probably have to trial and error. But step one, like I said, is starting off with a freaking good platform when we got it here in the Marlon SP14. Let's run through the plan of attack. Day one, first thing we gotta do is unpackage this sucker. We've got a bunch of like little foamies and crap like that. Let's get it all off and get this thing down to the bare bones. Next, we need to chuck in some Scotty anchors. So we got some Scotty anchors that we're gonna chuck in on the front and back. We're gonna flush mount those. So we gotta drill some holes, which always sucks freaking drilling in your brand new boat, but you gotta do it. So gonna mount those. Next thing, we balled out. In our last boat, I didn't have any cup holders or anything. And the amount of drinks or whatever that was being spilt, like all of a sudden you're like, okay, fish on, double head or whatever, or you're like filming and then you bump something. The amount of drinks that were spilled in that boat was atrocious. So we're changing that this year, and we got some freaking cup holders that we're gonna be chucking all around this boat. And lastly, we're gonna figure out how this gunnel track works. This is a brand new thing for Marlons. This is something that I haven't used before. Last year, I just had flush mounts that I mounted all across. So this year, now that we can just slide that track, it's gonna be pretty sweet, but we're gonna like fiddle with that a little bit. So that's kind of the plan of attack for today. First things first, let's get this boat unpackaged. Pull this out. All right, step one, complete. One thing we forgot to write on this, and my wife just showed up with some Timmies, is coffee break. So, we're gonna go do a coffee break, and we'll get back for step two. Coffee tastes fresh. Let's get going on some anchors. Probably should have shown this earlier, but this is step one, getting these anchors on, specifically these flush mounts. So like I said, we're gonna do one up front, one in the rear, so that we can have two anchors going, so that when you're stillwater fishing or filming, you're able to keep that boat situated. So that's step number one. Step number two, this is a freaking game changer. I can't tell you how many drinks have been spilled. So to have a couple of these, we got, I think, 1, 2 of these going on. So we're gonna chuck those crap all around, and dude, it'll be nice. It'll be really freaking nice. So probably just on the inside of the seats, I would imagine. And like I said, just have a nice spot for everybody's drinks to go. So that's step two. Don't need those. Oh, and these are, so like I said, our new gunnel. So right here, see this track? We're gonna be able to throw these mounts in. So we have 4 of these, and chuck these all around so that you can slide this crap. So if you're freaking stillwater fishing on one side, or casting on one side, I should say, then you can chuck your 2 rod holders out there and sit and kind of wait from there. So obviously cast it out and then sit, if you're indicator fishing, for example, do that, which will be super nice. And then you can swap it up and down. Maybe you're fishing on the back, maybe the wind shifted your boat, you need to move things around. These are gonna be really nice. Cause like I said before, and in my previous boats, I've just like screwed mounts onto the side and then they're fixed. So to be able to slide that up and down is gonna be a game changer. So that's kind of the plan of attack for today. Starting off with step one. Let's measure this out, get these flush mounts in and go from there. So these are gonna go right up here. gonna measure this up probably straight enough. And then, yeah, this is what we'll chuck our anchors into. Then we typically use pyramid anchors, call it with like, ideally we'll probably get like up to like 100 or 50-ish foot lines, just to be able to like really make sure that we have enough rope for everything. I think right now I got like 20, so might have to hit up the old shopping cart and get that dialed. But for now, let's get these flush mounts in. To be honest, I feel like as a person, I'm probably more of a like measure once, cut once person. But when you're talking about into the aluminum on your boat, I'm probably gonna measure this about 65 times. So we're sitting at 54 and a half. I suck at math. So 54 and a half divided by 2, 27 and a quarter. Probably should have known that, but let's mark her up. 27 and a quarter. So I always say that that's like give or take math. So we'll just do both sides and then split the difference. So there you go. Well, I forgot my square at home and I'm in my stepdad's shop, so I gotta figure out where the heck he keeps the squares. Oh, here we go. Shove that sucker up, make sure she's nice and straight. Easy. So now I want to figure out how far forward I can put this thing. On my last boat, I put it like right dead in the center. And long story short, I felt like it started to like lift up a little bit and it just like created like unnecessary torque. Obviously when you're carrying like a heavy anchor or something like that. So I want to try to get it as far forward as I can, but at the same time, it obviously has a depth. So I'm not really good at this crap. So we'll just figure it out. So what are we? 2 5/8. Let's see how deep we can get for 2 5/8. Get it up close enough. Maybe around there. We mount her. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's gonna be close enough forward where we're also gonna be able to have enough clearance. So, but like I said, just save a little bit on that torque in regards to having it so far forward. So that being said, I think they've done a lot of reinforcing on this boat from last year. Like they obviously have the new Gunnel, which is freaking awesome. I've noticed so many little differences from this year's model to last year's model. I can actually run you through it quickly. So like I said, the Gunnel is obviously the main squeeze. That's like the big selling feature meal ticket. Obviously they've added like this new foam that's pretty killer, but on the trailer is really nice. So here's something that last year I broke off a couple times. So on the tail lights here, don't look at my little zap straps here. You like that little plastic still on there? Got to keep that license plate freaking fresh. But on my tail lights, last year, going down logging roads, I don't know, we take these boats, honestly, where I think a lot of people aren't taking them, like through deactivations, chucking them on the back of quads, doing whatever, right? And I would constantly be ripping and hitting on the back of these. But having this tail light now, like fully enclosed, is gonna be so nice because I had to go in there a couple times and just drop by the factory and say, hey boys, like, can you guys get a tail light in for me? So super fired up on that. So that's a big upgrade. Other than that, I think everything's pretty much the same, but let's get back to installing this flush mount. Yeah, I say we just give her. We'd love to hear in this series too. What do you guys want to see from this? Do you guys want to see more build videos? Do you guys want to see more stuff where we are installing products, learning products, or tell us what you guys want to see? Even more like vlog fishing type stuff, so let us know. Pilot hold none. I don't have a proper hole saw kit, so we're just gonna see if we can make it work. It is aluminum, so I imagine it being pretty easy to get through, but we'll see. This might be a bad idea, but we'll give her a go. Well, I thought this whole bit was gonna make do. Long story short, we might be able to get through her, but I'm pretty sure I got like the same size porcelain hole saw bit at the house, so boot down the hill, go grab that, and get back to her. So, gee, I think this is the meal ticket. If I was smart, I would have actually brought that unit back with me or measured it, but This looks like the right size. I don't have anything else, so. And it's a porcelain bit, so it should be good for metal. Nothing like wasting some good time. We got what we need, so definitely same size. So should be freaking dialed. Everything feels a little jimmier with this. I feel like that's always whenever you want to like work on something, you always get missing tools or doing something under the sun. And I feel like that's kind of what we're working with today. To be honest, I don't know if it's ever any different. And that bit's way too big. So let's find one that fits. Let's try this again. Can't wait for all the comments of just the boys being like, this guy doesn't know how to use this crap, doesn't know what drill, why isn't he like watering that crap, why isn't he doing that? You know what? We're just out here just trying to get this crap done, okay? Just trying to drill a couple holes in our brand new boat. That's all we're trying to do. Yeehaw! Well, that only took 2 hours, so let's see if she fits. And freaking like a glove. That's what we love to see. Okay, next step. Let's measure this out, and then we're gonna drill the holes for these bad sallies, and we'll get that thing all mounted up. Then we'll rinse and repeat on the old back. So check the old marker. I'm not a metal guy. I love working with wood. It's so much better than working with metal. Like, I don't know, I'm just not a metal guy, so. But anyways, we're all set and dialed there. So we're gonna start drilling these pilot holes. And all our holes line up. Let's test it out. Dialed. Well, one down. Let's get the back one in now. This one should go a lot quicker, I would imagine, just because, whoo! Now we know what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna mount this one on the back left because I'm gonna be sitting over there, so it's nice to be able to like kind of reach across. Question is, do I want to mount it like that or maybe like that? Honestly, what I might do is just measure it into the center and then just do it that way. Trace the sucker out, make our life a lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. With this one being on an angle and in the back, I'm just gonna do it real basic. And I'm kind of just gonna eyeball it and trace it out. So that's kind of the game plan. It's like, even if you screwed up on this back end, you wouldn't really know because the whole thing's angled. And that's kind of like that's the best point right there. So gonna be way freaking quicker though. Just gonna get our center line. Sweet. Now I don't want to change my drill bit, so we're gonna start with a little bit of a bigger pilot hole, and it's looking like she's gonna work. Yeehaw. You know, it's bad when the freaking pilot bit isn't wanting to go in. You know why? Because our Allen key loosened up. The thing just spinning in there. All right, let's tighten that up and then we'll get this sucker in her. Phew! All right, there we go. And we're dialed. Man, there is something about drilling through metal that never gets me stoked, and it doesn't get any funner. So, is funner even technically a word? Honestly, I think drilling those holes and stuff is the worst part about putting together a boat like this. Sweet. Test her out. And I think we're freaking dialed in regards to these guys. Remember how to put this thing in. Easy. Well, the boys freaking hate drilling, but you know what? We got it done. Another check off the list. Okay, next up, let's get those cup holders mounted. Okay, so I actually have never mounted these before. I'm thinking you just use some self-tappers though and chuck them right into the front of the seats. Let's see, they got a little kit here, includes, oh, it might even come with self-tappers. Let's figure out where we want this. So now we really have to think about where we're placing things. Yeah, obviously anchors have their spots. This is where we get a little bit of customization, but you have to think about a couple things when you're doing this. You want your cup holders to be out of the way. You're obviously coming in and out of the boat quite a bit, and you don't want to necessarily be kicking them all the time, tripping over them and doing all that stuff. And then you also have to think of other things. So, hey, if I'm gonna throw in the back corner, I have my anchor line there. So typically I would keep like a bucket or something to keep my anchor lines all neat and tidy. But then I also might want to throw my fish finder battery over there or something along those lines as well. So I'm gonna do a little bit of tinkering and see where I want these cup holders to go. I'm thinking we're gonna have a seat right here for the one person, so maybe it's on the opposite side. Frick, I might just have to go to Google and see what the boys are doing, but do some thinking on where I want these guys to go. If I'm driving, obviously driving, got the motor, you're gonna want the cup holder in grab distance, but I also want it out of the way. The most out of the way would be in the corner here, but is that too far to reach? Or with the seat here, no, that's kind of a pain. I'm kind of leaning towards throwing it all the way in the corner and then just having it there, because then it would be easy grab. Let's see what some other boys are doing. The old John boat world. The fellas are all over the place in regards to where to mount these cup holders. You know what I'm thinking? I think I'm actually gonna put these off for a little bit. I think we're gonna first get these seats in. That's gonna be on another day. And I'm just gonna play around a little bit with it. Because my gut is telling me that I want it accessible. So maybe like right in the center here, but at the same time, jumping in and out of the boat, or you're dealing with something with the motor, or you're pulling the gas can out, that kind of sucks, because then you're gonna be tripping over it, you're gonna be stepping on it, or maybe break it, right? So I kind of want to get these seats in, which like I said, we're gonna do in a couple days, and test it out. And then from there, I think I'm gonna have a better idea on where to put the cup holders. So we're gonna shelf them for right now, but we'll have them in the back of the mind. And they don't look too hard to mount. Honestly, they come with these screws, but I have some metal self-tappers. I'm just gonna self-tap them in and they'll be good to go. So we're gonna move on to the Gunnel track. This is super easy. These things are pretty killer. I think you honestly just plug and play. We're gonna check out how these things go. I think pretty much throw these guys into the track. Maybe you want the smaller ones. Oh, is that the meal? No, maybe even smaller than that. But I'm really excited for this. Honestly, this is the biggest upgrade in regards to this boat, is having this integrated gunnel and being able to literally move this thing left and right and put mounts in and out. So I just got to figure out what ones are the right. Is that it? That looks too small too. Huh, too big, too small. Let me try one more. Tighten these suckers up. So that's kind of what that looks like. Literally, that was super easy. And then you can loosen them up. Slide them around wherever the heck you want them. If you're fishing on this side, tighten them down. You're freaking good to go. You can chuck mounts in there. I'm not gonna be using these. I have fly mounts in there, but long story short, these just chuck on in just like any other accessory and they can go. So I have 4 of these. I'm gonna go throw them all around the boat and I think we're freaking done for today. So I'm really stoked on these. Like I said, this is hands down the biggest upgrade for this year of Marlon. This is a big reason why I wanted to get this new boat, is just strictly because of this system right here. So we have 4 of these. I'm gonna throw all 4 on, probably 2 on each side, and then we'll keep going. So I'll get those mounted up right now. So I'm really excited for this boat. So we have a lot of future plans for it. This series is gonna go into everything that we need this boat to do. We have a lot of new accessories that we're gonna be putting on. So coming up, I'm gonna be doing seats. Never had seats in our John boats before. So really excited for that. I've just always sat on these things, which has been cool, but the seats are honestly gonna be game changers, especially for those long days out on the water. Those are also cool. We have like a track system that Marlon makes, so we're gonna be using that. I picked up a Lowrance fish finder, a 7-inch hook reveal. So We're gonna be throwing that guy on there. I gotta figure out mounting options for that as well. So that's gonna be coming up, just really helping on the stillwater side of things. Not so much on the production side, but on the stillwater side of things, that's gonna be really nice. We're gonna be powering this boat, obviously. So chucking a motor on there. The thing I'm really excited about. So in our last Marlon, we threw floors down. So I did like a mixture of insulation that I kind of like put in between here to really quiet everything down. And then I did like plywood wrapped in carpet that were really nice for the floors. But we've been chatting with our buddies over at Ultra Deck, Andrew and those guys over there. And I think we're gonna do like a full custom Fargone kind of like interior on this thing. So we're gonna map it out, get logos or do whatever, maybe like do like a little fish mount or like a scale, or I don't know. We're gonna do everything. I have no idea what we're gonna do yet for that, but that's gonna be like the coolest upgrade to this boat. And then we're probably gonna just fish with it for a little bit, film with it for a little bit, and see and just kind of upgrade as we go. So there's gonna be plenty more coming through this series. Be sure to keep an eye out. Be sure to subscribe and follow along if you're interested in what we think is building the ultimate John boat, especially for stillwater and production out here in British Columbia. Okay, final check mark. Mount Gunnel track. So today we were able to unpackage the boat, obviously to the coffee break. Forgot to freaking check that sucker off, and that guy's checked off. Okay, mounted the anchors, front and back. Really stoked on that. Cup holders, like I said, we're gonna figure out exactly where we like that the more we use the boat, and especially after we get those seats in. So that's gonna be coming up. Mounting the Gunnel track, that's done. So, hey, that was a freaking successful day. What we're gonna be doing, we actually have a production coming up that we're gonna be using this boat in. So we're gonna head out on the water, test a couple things out, see how we like where we've put everything, and then from there, we'll kind of go from there. So we have that production coming up a couple days. We'll water test this Bad Sally, and then after that, the goal is to mount some seats, get the fish finder locked in, figure out how we're gonna do the flooring, what we're gonna do there. I still don't know if we need to do like a plywood thing again, or I don't know, they have like that PVC or whatever, like material that could be a little bit better for like a long-term solution. So maybe I'm gonna chat with the boys over at Ultra Deck and see what they think about for that. But there's a lot more coming to this build series. So thank you so much for watching the video. It's gonna be a fun one. We're gonna get this boat out on the water a bunch. Like I said, this thing's gonna be a game changer in regards to obviously on our productions and on our shoots, but also just for me on my weekend adventure stillwater fishing, which has quickly become one of my favorite activities in the world. So be sure to follow along, be sure to subscribe and do the whole thing. Hit that freaking notification bell, get notified when we upload videos regarding this boat and everything else that we have going on over here at Fargone. So till next time, we'll see you out on the water. Tight lines, as all the fishermen would say, and we'll catch you soon.